So against that backdrop of potential problems, current threats, foreseeable threats, there is an optimistic view encapsulated by what I call a metavision for grizzly bears in the Northern Rockies, within which Cabinet-Yaak bears potentially play a pivotal, even critical role. So putting that in spatial form, here's where we currently have grizzly bears, everything in green. Importantly, there have been a lot of researchers who have modeled where we have potential suitable habitat for grizzly bears currently unoccupied. So the amalgam of all that here represented by this lighter shade of green, you can see that there is a huge amount of potential in central Idaho. By some estimates, we could have upwards of 700 bears in central Idaho. But note the key location of the Cabinets and Yaak relative to this vast area of suitable grizzly bear habitat. In fact, probably key for the eventual colonization of this suitable habitat, key to the realization of all of the potential that we have that is unrealized in the Northern Rockies. Worth looking at this potential stepping back and scaling up, spanning the Canada-United States border. So here you can see Alberta and British Columbia to the north. Everything in dark pink is core occupied grizzly bear habitat throughout that region. Lighter pink, a peripheral habitat. Here are our current recovery areas in the contiguous US. Again, is that potential. And here's what we could have if all of that potential were realized. A single contiguous population stretching all the way from the Yellowstone ecosystem up through central Idaho, the Cabinet-Yaak, on north into Canada, even up into the Yukon. And I've highlighted the Cabinet-Yaak in red just to show you more vividly just the key pivotal location of this ecosystem relative to the realization of that potential and the potential for a meaningful restoration of our endangered, globally endangered clade 4 grizzly bears, taking us back to where I started with deep history. So sort of a nexus through which, out of which bears could move back and forth to create this contiguous mega population, if you will. A hub. Finally, is it even conceivable to think about getting there? And I would say absolutely yes. We have lots of proven tools in the toolbox, and we know specifically what needs to be dealt with, where the problems lie. Certainly, we want to prevent more harm, which means not building the proposed Rock Creek mine. And if we're going to build the Pacific Northwest Trail, use the alternate route that would take through hikers, not through core grizzly bear habitat, but through an area that's scenic, but going to be less impactful. And also, we need to heal the existing wounds. So the logical focus for that, domestic fruit trees. Attractants such as chickens, goats and pigs, garbage, livestock feed, apiaries. And we have, as I said just a little before, proven tools. There's a major role for electric fencing. Also, we have proven means of securing garbage and human foods. And we need more bear management specialists. And we need to support those bear management specialists without making a devil's bargain where the only way we get them is by allowing something like the Rock Creek mine to proceed. And we know how to manage roads. And in fact, we need to be more aggressive about closing and managing roads, restricting access to roads, making habitat more secure. Insofar as the heavily trafficked highways are concerned, likewise, we have proven methods, overpasses, underpasses that work. But then there's that lurking issue of attitudes, worldviews, human lethality. And that is the poser. How do we go about encouraging essentially culture change? But I'll guarantee you one thing, that if we continue to tell ourselves legacy stories of domination, violence, and intolerance, that there is no prospect for realizing the potential we have for grizzly bears, not only in this part of the world, but throughout the Northern Rockies. By contrast, if, as has been the case, we increasingly tell ourselves stories of compassion, accommodation, tolerance, respect, and even relatedness, I am absolutely positive we can realize the potential, not only for grizzly bears, but also for people, where we can have a world where we can have not only many more grizzly bears, but also many more people. We know how to do it. So I'll leave you with that thought. Thank you.